Hello everyone, welcome back to your 15th Python tutorial. In this tutorial I want to talk about built-in functions, or functions that Python already has inside it. So let's get started. I will not be talking about some of the more advanced functions or string functions, etc., stuff like that. Those will be saved for later videos, or they will either be for you to find out on your own. So let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is abs. So if we go to our shell, what abs does is it gives the absolute value of a number. So absolute value of 45 is 45. Absolute value is just the distance from 0. And negative 45 would still be 45. So it pretty much takes the negative sign off it if it's negative, and just leaves it as is if it's positive. So that's what absolute value does. Moving on to bool. We already talked about that. It just converts anything into a boolean. It tells us something is empty or not. So bool and an empty string. Oops. Accidentally hit the other thing. And give me false. So that's bool. Directory, that is for importing things. It shows what's all on import. That'll be talked about in a later video, along with rounds and sum. Sum is not like the sum that you think of. It's a little bit more complicated. And so is round. It's not. It's a little bit more complicated. And then the next thing we have is eval. And that just takes a string, like 3 times 3, and it evaluates that. And it gives us 9 right there. Next one is float. This converts anything into a float. So if I have an integer 9, they'll convert it to 9.0, like that. Help, what that does is it's pretty much built-in documentation in your shell. If I go ahead and enter that, it's pretty much like a helpful thing. You can look up how loops work, how various things in Python work. So if I look up loop for that, it shows me how a for works and explains it in a very detailed manner. So that's a pretty cool feature. Next we have input. That just asks the user for something like something they can type in a string. So like we saw earlier, inputs, name, and it has that, and I can say Nate, and then it returns it as a string. So that's kind of helpful if you want to work with console applications. Int, that converts something into an integer. If I have int of 4.0, that'll convert it to 4. Max, that gives you a maximum value of a set of numbers. I keep closing that, I should minimize it. So max of 2 and 3, give me 3. Next thing we have is min, and that gives me the minimum value of 2 numbers. So if I do min of 2 and 3, then that'll give me 2, because that's the smallest number there. Next thing is pow. It's similar to how you work with exponents. Normally we would do 4 squared would look like that, but you can use pow and it would look like this. Some people prefer that because it's used in other languages like Java or C, and it gives me the same thing. So that's pow. Print just output something to the screen. Print hi, it gives me that out to the screen. Range, that gives me a range of numbers. And remember, we need to have it in a list in order for it to show all the numbers. So 1 to 11, that gives me the numbers from 1 to 10, because that's exclusive. We talked about all the parameters in the video in the past. Round, very complicated, or not really complicated, but it has a lot of backstory behind it. String, that just converts something into a string. String of 4, it converts it into a string, like we see there. Some complicated function that we will talk about later. You might be able to see that in a different video I might talk about later. I haven't decided yet, but if you're curious, you can just look at Python documentation on their website about anything, or you can Google search, do Stack Overflow, stuff like that, if you have any questions, or you can leave it on the forum if you have a question. So I hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial on built-in functions, and I'll see you next time. Bye.